I have a line, but I have to get off stage, but I can't let my line be said without this person being on stage. So like, what do I do? What do I do?
You look like this.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what him probably looks like. I remember specifically, I remember we had so many power grid issues with the show in China. Like no other time on tour would we be in the middle of a show and just all power would shut down and just everything just would go quiet.
Oh my gosh. I just remembered something with Lauren.
That's what I was going to say.
Is that what you see?
Yeah.
I knew it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so go. We could tiptoe around, you know.
Well, I mean, she was friends.
She was friends with
one of Cinderella's mice.
One of Cinderella's mice, Gus Gus, right?
Nope, she was Gus Gus. And Lauren Mazenko, I mean, let's preface, Lauren Mazenko was hysterical. The short, blonde young lady who, I mean, she was just funny. Just simple way to say it, she was just funny. Like her personality was hysterical.
Life of the party.
Life of the party. Great way of saying it. And this was just one of those shows, and I couldn't even tell you what city it was in because we had so many technical issues with the power in China.
Right.
It was the throne scene where they're making all the different princesses and Gaston appear on the throne, and Gus Gus and Jacques pull out the carriage and they're dancing on stage, and all of a sudden just boom.
The whole
And it was like all lighting, all sound, all microphone, like everything
died
in the entire house, the entire theater. And nobody made a sound. Not a single member of the audience, not a single cast member, not a single crew member, nothing. No one made a sound, just pitch black on stage. And let's not forget, Lauren is full head to toe friends with Gus Gus. Finally, they got the power to come back on and they were able to finish the show, the scene, whatever. I think someone came and grabbed the characters' hands to get them off stage or whatever. And Lauren is backstage in her Southern accent that would come out every once in a while, literally says, "Y'all, I thought I just died." She's like, literally, because it was like full show, full audio, full sound, everything, to all of a sudden blackout, nothing.
And so she's dancing and doing the whole routine, and all of a sudden, whoosh,
yep,
quiet, and she's just could hear herself breathing.
Yeah. And she literally said, "I thought I just died inside this big rat."
I thought I just died. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. I remember in that same, I think it was in the same, it might not have been the same city, but the same tour, when Isaiah was one of Belle's friends, Cinderella's friends, and we put a walkie-talkie.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
So Nick,
yes.
So in this track that Isaiah had to do, she was friends with Cinderella, and she had a big headpiece, and we got with wardrobe, and so when she had to do a quick change.
Well, Alex, first of all, too, you had brought these walkie-talkies from home, and you had been messing around with them backstage like for weeks leading up to this. So, I mean,
walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
Because, I thought crew all had, walkies, and I was like, why don't we get some? Like, it would be they're like, you're cast, you're the crew, you're the dancers, you're the, and I'm like, so what? I want crew, I want to walk. I want to be like, Norm, what's going on over there? Stage left. Everything good? Everything good? Just checking. Over. Like, why not? I want a walkie. So I got walkies. So anyhow, we got involved with Megan Mooney. Megan Mooney was wardrobe at the time.
Wardrobe.
And Isaiah had a change, and we got with Mooney, and we said, hey, can we tape this walkie in the hat?
Top of her headpiece. Because this headpiece, without giving anything away about, Disney secrets, but like this headpiece was a portion of it sat really far above her head. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they taped one of the walkie-talkies up into the top of.
And so like when she's getting dressed, you're just putting on your gear. You're just putting on your shoes and your clothes. Anyhow, we taped a walkie up there. And so we're backstage. And as she walks on stage, you know,
we, like the entire cast, the entire cast, everyone except for Isaiah knew this was going to go down.
Yeah.
So she goes and makes her entrance on stage. And like, there's like never anyone at stage right ever in the wings watching the scene. But it is like all crew, all cast is like in the wing, like waiting, and Alex has the other walkie-talkie with them.
And actually, it was me and Brad were there. Me and Brad were there, and we're going, she's doing the choreography, and all of a sudden, we go, Isaiah, and she's like,
not even that. It wasn't even that big. Like she's doing her choreography, and then you just see her, this character, just go, just like so subtle, like who's talking to me?
and so.
In the middle of the scene.
On stage, and then we just started talking, and then we were laughing so hard. And we're like, okay, Simon says, you know, move your right arm. And
no,
so
don't forget that. Don't forget that you guys started playing up like, hey, Isaiah, this is God talking to you. Because the sound was coming down from above.
It was so funny. Oh, yeah, terrible. So we were and then afterwards she came off stage. She's like, what's going on? What's happening?
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. Oh Lord. Another crazy thing that happened to me, and this was a different tour I did. Yeah. This was a princess themed tour that I did with Disney. And we were in Taichung, Taiwan, I think was the name of the city. And it was it opening day? I think it might have been opening day. Anyway, so they had like the stage, the typical stage, and then normally you have like the orchestra pit, you know, that's where the orchestra normally sits, but they wanted to use all that space, and we don't have a live orchestra because this show is like your stereotypical Disney theme park show where pretty much everyone's lip syncing, but it's 90 minutes drawn out, right? So they had raised this part, the orchestra pit, so they could like flatten the entire stage all the way out. So a lot of our choreography and stuff happened on this raised stage, which is obviously just on like hydraulics or whatever, right?
Right. So
it's not as solid as the rest of the stage. So we're out there doing our opening scene, and without giving too much away, I was portraying a character in the Snow White story, and there was 7 of us.
One was always tired.
Yeah.
One was always
very mad. Yeah. I was very good friends with the very angry one. So anyways, it was full scene, like all of these characters, you had the princess, you know, everything. All of a sudden, we just feel the stage start moving. And then it starts getting more violent. And then you hear screaming from the house. And like, again, I'm in a full head to toe costume. I can't see anything like beyond me. So all I know is that like I hear massive people screaming. And then it literally sounds like a giant has taken the theater and shaking it at the same time that it's like in the ocean. Because it was like this weird wave and shaking. And then the fact that we are on that platform like enhanced it even more. Yeah, it was a full-on 6.5 earthquake in Taiwan.
Oh.
Right? Like 15 minutes into the show, right? Wow. And so as a good, you know, Disney performer, you have, you know, your track, all the characters are tracked, everyone's lip syncing. So in my mind, I'm like, holy crap, I got to get off stage. So I'm like, I got to go. And I was like, oh, wait, but I have a line coming up and they're not turning off the audio. So like, all I can think of is this, all I can see from like, imagine what the audience sees from, well, they're probably not there anymore because they all pieced out and like took off out of the theater. But like, I can imagine what anyone watching is like, this character was like, stop, go, turn around. No, I got to go back. No, I like, because in my mind, I'm like, I have a line, but I have to get off stage, but I can't let my line be said without this person being on stage. So like, what do I do? What do I do?
It looked like this.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what it probably looks like. And they finally like down the show. They like did an emergency stop, whatever. And all of these 7 friends are just standing on stage. There's no crew backstage anymore.
Nobody's helping them.
Nobody came out to help us. We were all just standing on stage. All the crew was pieced out and ran out the back. The young lady portraying Snow White, the only person who had full sight on stage, literally picks up her dress and ran off stage, leaving all of her little friends on stage. And we're just like, we can't see. We don't know if we're supposed to move. We don't know if things are falling, like whatever. So finally,
you guys aren't that good of friends. Is basically
no, apparently not. Apparently not. And we still give that performer a hard time for not helping any of the characters off stage.
Yeah, earthquake.
I remember. I mean, thankfully, I'll preface that nothing ever happened with this particular incident, but just like the way it was, the possibility of something happening was brought up to us. So, as you know, I got lucky and I got to work on the 2nd and 3rd Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Right.
Got to live in the Bahamas for 6 weeks while we filmed these films. So we were shooting a scene on the EITC, the massive EITC British like sailors ship, right? Well, of course they didn't build this full ship for the movie because that would be ridiculously expensive. So they literally built this little section, and it was on a barge that was maybe, I don't know, it didn't feel that big. Like the bottom of the ship was a flat barge that was maybe like 50 feet by 50 feet. And then they built all these scaffolds up, and then like the poop deck where the wheel of the ship was, and like one little portion below us, like this is the poop deck, like one little portion below it. And then they had this one side of it built with a bunch of cannons sticking out. So like this whole side over here was completely open, so you could see everything. It was like just that one side, and everything else would be added in with CGI.
Right.
So this thing, you look at it and you're like, this seems a little oddly built. It's very like tall and cylindrical, and like a lot of weight is at the top of this thing. And it's out in the ocean because we filmed on location in the Caribbean, in the Bahamas. So like they have some of the big stars up there. They've got like a bunch of the extras, we're all in British regalia, whatever. And we all get boated out to this thing sitting in the middle of the Caribbean, the Bahamas, in the middle of the Bahamas, off the coast of Grand Bahama. And it's a little rocky, it's a little wavy out there. And we all get off and we get on the barge and we start walking up the stairs to a little holding area toward the top. And we're just waiting to like shoot the scene, and one of like the security, like safety guys, like second director, whatever, like you think like a big company that's making like a big multi-million-dollar production,
hundreds of millions of dollars invested in this product,
right? Like they think of everything, like safety wise or whatnot. No, so before we go out onto like the upper deck to the set pieces to film this scene, they get all of us together, and like the AD or whoever goes, literally verbatim says, yeah, so we don't really know how this thing's gonna handle out here in the open water. So if it happens to tip over, just jump and try to clear it. And we think he's joking. Like all of us are just sitting there like, jump and try to clear it, like this multi-ton piece, like set piece. You want us to jump and try to clear this thing if the waves tip it over? Are you kidding me? So then we're supposed to go out and film the scene, and all that's in the back of my mind is, where's my emergency exits? Like, where do I jump, like off of this platform that's literally like 50 feet in the air, 60 feet in the air, that if it tips over from a wave,
it'll be fine. It's gonna be amazing.
Just jump and clear it. We'll come pick you up.
Wait till you see the final cut. It's going to be amazing.